A cute new panda pet? Let's begin. Welcome back everyone. So last week we got quite a lot of stuff actually. We got the first Adventure of Summer event. It was like a mini event that again was just another filler event. We had the 520 Game Lover event the previous week, and then we had this one that only lasts a week as well, where if you complete some small missions you'd be able to receive some clues, spyglasses, and a special portrait that was again just for the event. In the store they gave us a spyglass package that contained 100 spyglasses, 188 clues, and 188 fragments. Why did they give us so many spyglasses? That's because they added some new stuff to the Spyglass Store. They added Mechanics Emote Reminisce, Gardener's Emote Reminisce that I think you could get in previous events in previous years. I can't remember really, but I think that's the case. Also, Mechanics Emote Shout, Explorer's Emote Lie Down, and Lawyer's Emote Provoke. There was also in the patch notes a mention of a skin that you could get, but I couldn't really see where that skin was in the Spyglass Store. Maybe I just missed it. Can't remember who it was for though. Apart from that, we also got a Moviebuff treasure hunt event that is something that keeps on happening randomly. I don't really understand when they decide to do it, but if you spend some sealing wax, you could get different rewards, skins, and essentially things like this that you could spend real echoes on, converting them into sealing wax for the sake of spending them on these items. I don't really know, a bit random. They did some changes to the room, adding the voice changer feature to the voice chat feature in room visits. The previous week they added voice chat to room visits. So if you went to one of your friends' rooms, I think, or if you went to visit a room that was just not as a friend but as just a visitor, you could actually turn on the voice chat feature so you could chat with others. Now they've added the voice changer so that you don't have to use your real voice. It's kind of cool. In quick matches, ranked matches, and in 5v5 they added a new kind of clause where players who disconnect will have 8 minutes to reconnect before they are completely removed from the match and they are replaced with AI. 8 minutes is a very long time in my personal opinion. Most matches last around 5 minutes, sometimes 4 minutes, sometimes 6. 8 matches is usually longer than the normal match, so it means that they can just be disconnected for the entire match and more. I don't really know if that's really a good idea. Did they shorten it? Did they increase it? I don't really know what it was at originally, but 8 minutes feels like a very long time. One of the major changes they made last week was they optimized Darkwoods. I talked about this on my stream last week on Thursday. I did a stream where we had a look at the entire map. I talked about what they changed because I was quite familiar with Darkwoods. We had a lot of matches testing it out to see if it was more balanced, and it is quite balanced compared to how it used to be. It's still a little bit survivor-sided in my personal opinion, but we've yet to see what people think about it as they play on it. Hopefully this will now be added to quick match, and maybe they will do some more adjustments this week. I'm unsure because of course they've just released it for people to play on. The changes that they made were they increased the brightness and the ambiance of the map, changing it to look a little bit more like Arms Factory in its brightness. They improved the performance of the loading of the map. They moved the location of some pallets. By some pallets, windows, and objects, they meant essentially everything. They moved everything on the map. They moved the middle basement to the riverside, so it's just underneath one of the trees. They removed the river's slowdown effect, where if you went in the river you would get a slowdown effect for some period of time. They increased survivors' swinging speed and removed stamina use for hunters. Survivors now have 30 seconds cooldown for using the rope swing, so they can't just abuse it over and over and over and over again. They improved the swing's interruption logic for both sides, and they removed the traps from the map. As you may have noticed if you've played Identity 5 over the past week, they added a new show quick message in chat bubbles option, where you'll now be able to see where people are specifically whilst looking around when they send messages, such as Cypher Machine Primed, something like that. There are little numbers that will indicate which survivor in order of left to right they are. So for example, if you see a speech bubble with 1, that's because the first person at the top right of your screen is the person who is speaking. It makes it a little bit easier for beginners, although I do think it looks a little bit weird. I think they should maybe shrink down the size of these big bubbles. But apart from that, it's pretty good. I think you can turn it off in the settings if you don't like it. They also gave us another event that they kind of didn't really mention very much, but they also gave us the 5th anniversary illustration contest mini event that was similar to the first Adventure of Summer event, where you just had to do some stuff and you would get clues and stuff like that, and a special portrait that is just a weird picture, and that was very weird. And if you are someone who likes to buy offline Identity 5 stuff, they just added the Mitsuchi Kamate Archduchess Bloody Queen real statues that you can now pre-order. Let's talk about what we're getting this week, and we're getting the big crossover this week. We're getting the Angels of Death crossover. This is going to be an Essence crossover, something that we haven't had for quite some time now, and in this Essence you'll be able to get only 8 tiers, 4 8 tiers in total. You'll be able to get Danny for Professor, Eddie for Axe Boy, Kathy for Coordinator, and Rachel for Little Girl. They have different names, but this is like their abbreviated name. They're all A tier skins, and you will be able to get them all for a discounted price because the essence doesn't have an S tier. Instead of costing 96 inspirations, it will instead cost 86 inspirations. And people won't get repeat skins until they have all of the A tier. So if you get one A tier, the next A tier you get will be a different one. This essence will also bring along some, I'm assuming, B tier accessories for these characters, also portraits, portrait frames, probably quite a lot of graffitis, and graffitis that look absolutely identical, as that is Nettie's tradition apparently, but maybe not, we'll find out. There are more skins though, and those are not going to be in the essence. There is going to be a skin that you'll only be able to get through a crossover event. The crossover event brings an event where if you participate in the event, you'll be able to get 10 free crossover essences to give you a little bit higher chance of getting one of those A tiers. If you complete all the login and event missions, you'll be able to receive multiple rewards, probably including fragments, clues, and stuff like that. But you'll also be able to get the Grey Lawyer skin. That is another A tier skin, and this one's completely for free. There's also like a mini event outside of the game. If you're paying attention to the official Twitter or the official Facebook for Identity 5, they will also be giving more rewards on there, and they'll be giving out a special code for a crossover limited portrait frame. That's going to be very cool. I guess it's something they're testing out. They've started adding codes now where you can kind of put it in the game to get free stuff. I think they're really experimenting with this, and maybe they'll give us more codes in the future, maybe stuff for like streams and stuff like that. I don't know. It'll be very, very nice. In the store, they're also giving us the S tier for this crossover, and that's going to be coming in the S tier package for Ripper. This is the Ripper S tier skin Isaac Foster, also known as Zach, and it will also bring along the A tier accessory Combat Knife. This accessory does seem to change his foggy blade a little bit. It makes it into like a blue and white effect and hovers instead of on his claws on top of his scythe in the skin, and it looks really, really good. I'm not sure if there are any other effects that will have. It is an A tier only, but it is pretty fancy, and it's nice to see kind of blue effects that you don't see very often with Ripper. This package will cost 3,956 echoes, but it will have a discount of 36% off, I believe, probably for the first week. I don't really know. You can also buy these two things separately, only for echoes. Apart from that, I'm unsure what we'll be getting this week, as Nettie's hasn't really revealed yet, as of the time of me speaking, what the calendar looks like for the next month. Of course, the next patch does fall in June, so that means that we'll probably be getting a couple of character days, maybe one character day, maybe not any, I don't really know. And it's again possible that they'll make a couple more adjustments to Darkwoods now that it's been released for people to play on. They kind of see what the stats are like on some of the areas, move around some of the walls, the pallets and stuff like that, maybe remove some pallets, I don't really know. It does feel like there are quite a lot of pallets in that map still. Maybe they could just remove one or two. Let's talk about what we might be getting in the future, some rumors and some reveals that have been revealed in the China server. On June 15th in the China server, that might come to us, probably won't, but we can never tell with Nettie's, there's going to be a special skin being released with a special crossover with the Chinese aerospace company. It's going to be a special skin for Lucky Guy called Star Voyage, as far as I can tell, and a special piece of furniture, not a pet, called Mars Rover. They look really fantastic. Like Lucky Guy's skin looks really, really different. It's not just Lucky Guy wearing like a spacesuit, it just is the full mask, and I didn't even realize it was Lucky Guy until I read about it. I knew of course that it was going to be Lucky Guy, but I forgot about it, saw the skin and had to remember that it was Lucky Guy by reading the description. It looks really, really different, and I really hope this skin gets brought over to our server, because it'd be really funny to see an astronaut walking around in Identity 5. I don't know why I find that so interesting, but it would be very cool in my personal opinion. Another thing that's coming in the Chinese server in June that might be coming to us, as we did get the special champion skins, is that they've also released the image of the new champion pet. It was based on the Panda skin for Guard 26, as far as I can tell, for the GG team that won COA last year. This pet looks really, really cute. It's a little panda wearing kind of like a metal suit, or like, I don't know, like a cup or something like that, and it looks really, really cute. It's going to be only for echoes, as I believe the champion skins always are, and I believe for the first week it will have an 8.8% discount, and that's a very weird number. That's really nice. I hope they bring this one over to our server. It would be nice to see people walking around with that pet. Now we got some rumors from IDV Curiosity over on Twitter. As I always say, go and check them out. They do great leaks, they do great stuff and reveals and stuff like that before Nettie's even does. Don't tell Nettie's. IDV Curiosity has said that there are some rumors for the next rank essence. There's going to possibly be an S tier accessory for Toy Merchant. That's going to be interesting to see what they give her. I'm I'm not really sure what they will do, and an A tier accessory for Geisha, and one also for Enchantress. Noir also mentions that there's possibly going to be a Clerk S tier skin coming out soon, and it's going to possibly be limited. Does this mean it's also going to bring along a special accessory? I really hope so, because it doesn't feel like Clerk has got a lot of love recently. It will be interesting to see what else they do with her, as she is a very competitive and popular character and has been for quite some time now. With these changes to Darkwoods that we just had last week and the possible addition of new changes this week as they're starting to finish balancing it and maybe add it to rank eventually, I'm not really sure, they haven't really confirmed that, but I'm assuming that's what their goal is. You should probably go and check out what changes they made. So click on the video that's on the screen right now if you want to see me talk about the changes that they added to the map.